Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. How would you call a person who wants to bar you, prevent you from speaking or giving your side of the story just because you don't like with his side of the story? I don't think that's a good word that you might use for that person. That happens in a democracy. In a democracy, in order to be able to vote for someone, you have to know, what that person has to say, what that person will do. And if you try to prevent that person from spreading his ideas that you might not like, then that's gonna kill democracy, because the same thing could happen to you. There will be some other people who would like to shut you down, and I don't think you would like that. So that's by definition something that is unjust. You might not like the person, but you should allow that person to speak. There are laws in the books that are applied and used and implemented for people who instigate to violence or to make threats. So you don't have to prevent that person from speaking. Let that person speak. When that person is going to make the illegal threats or illegal speech, which is, threats and inciting to violence and rioting, then yes, the law will take care of that. But let that person speak. Why? Not just because you don't like something, you should bar. Because that's how we're going to bar, and we're going to cancel one another. When I'm going to be in power, I'm going to bar you from speaking. When you're going to be in power, you're going to bar me from speaking. The problem is when you have this kind of people who think this way, and there are a lot of them, then we have a problem. Because what if and when, it's not what if, when they will become more numerous than the rest of us, then those people will send this country down there, where every other country was, I would say, at one point or another. A little dictatorship, a little tyranny. At least here it's a little bit more camouflaged, if you know what I mean. So we have here an article from Sputnik. It's from 23 minutes ago. What date is the day? The 19th of November. Poll on reinstatement of Trump's Twitter account gets 1 million votes per hour, Musk says. Now don't expect that those 1 million people will vote for, or 1 million people will vote against. My concern, my question would be, how can you bar someone from speaking, being available? Remember, on Twitter, there's the Iranian president, the Ayatollah, the whoever. There's the communist, the Cuban president. There's Xi Jinping. You say, hey, what's wrong with that? Well, I don't know. Just saying, is he worse than those? And if you say yes, well, then provide me the evidence. And you're going to say, well, it's because of the riots. Okay, did he do something illegal? He would be punished by the law, not by Twitter. Anyway, let's go and see here. Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, said on Saturday that around 1 million Twitter users cast their votes each hour in a poll on whether to reinstate the account of former US President Donald Trump on the platform. And I'm quoting, Trump poll getting 1 million votes per hour, end quote, Musk tweeted. As of 4 p.m. Moscow time, because this is Sputnik, 52.3% of Twitter users supported Trump's reinstatement. That means I don't give a fuck, let the guy speak. I would be part of that. Let him speak. If he does something that, as I already said 3 times, then yeah, he will be punished by the law that we have already in the books. And I agree with them. But we have the other, not fringe minority, big minority that think that no, he should not be allowed to come back and say his dirty, nasty, unkind words. Okay? So we say here that, it says here that while 47.7% voted against, with over 10 million votes cast in total, the poll will close in 11 hours. Earlier in the day, Musk launched a poll asking his followers if he should lift the permanent ban on Trump's Twitter account that was imposed following the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021. The platform deemed that his activity in relation to the event violated its policies. Policies of what? Why don't you let the law take care of that? It's like you have someone commit a crime and then you don't let that person back into the allegedly committed the crime. That means he's suspected. You're not going to let that person back in the community? Oh, you say, okay, we're going to arrest him first because we have no probable cause. Okay, you keep him away from the society, like right now, for something that didn't prove yet. But it's been what, 2 years almost? You remember the speedy trial? Where is that speedy trial? Oh, it's going right now on committee. Okay, it's 2 years. So remember, you get someone from the street. You think that person, you think you have probable cause. You think. You arrest the guy, you put him in jail, take him away from society for 2 years. I'm just giving society versus ability to speak on Twitter. So being in a community. Just because he might have done something. In 2 years he stays in jail without being trialed. And then after 2 years, what's going on? When are you going to let that guy come back? Even in the people suspected of crimes, you have bail. You have allowed that person to come back. But you're suspected. You're not, you know what I mean? You didn't commit anything. You're not. They arrested you. Anyway, remember, Trump has his platform, his own. He can be on Twitter via other people that will promote his thing. So he doesn't have to be directly over there. I'm just saying, for me, it's the idea. This time it's Trump. Next time it could be, I don't know, Obama. Next time it could be you. For something. If it's illegal, it's illegal. If it's not illegal, let me speak. Your policy, why do you have that policy? To protect me again from you? All right, so the platform deemed that his activities in relation to the event violated its policies. The former president later launched a new social network, Truth Social, to fight big tech censorship and protect the rights to free speech and expression. In late October, after Musk closed the $44 billion deal to acquire Twitter, he vowed to bolster protections of free speech on local media as part of his acquisition of the platform. Musk said that he would be willing to reverse Twitter's ban of Trump, however, said later that the reinstatement may instead be a decision made by the Content Moderation Council. Who is the Content Moderation Council? There are some people. I don't think they're smarter than you and I, but they will decide what goes and what you will be able to hear and listen to. I disagree with that. I would like me to be in charge of what I would like to hear and what I would not like to hear. If I would like to hear something idiot, that's my choice. If I would like to hear something mainstream, it's my choice. If I would like to hear something extreme, it's my choice. If I want to take a little thing and do something with it, taste it and see how the metal tastes, that's my choice. It's not yours to decide that for me, since we are free people. So we are or we're not. Do I hurt anybody? Do I hurt anybody if I'm allowed to speak? Oh, you might. There are some people over there. So you think they are retarded? That's basically what you say. They're incapable of filtering what's right and what's wrong. Now we know. We know that's a case. Sometimes, because we don't understand everything, obviously, right? But the idea that someone else decides what we can listen and hear and who we can hear, no. No. Why am I not in charge of that? And I'll tell you what is extreme and what you can listen to and what you cannot listen to. That council. And then the policy. The policy was made by some people. The same. Do you think are the smartest? Do you think that they have any political inclination, affinity? Do you think? I'm 100% certain they have. So I will give you an example from my college here in the United States of America. When I went to college here, I had a history class. In the history class, we reached to the Second World War subject, which I love. And I thought we're going to discuss, and all that. Well, we had an African-American, kind of young, well, I don't know, maybe she was like 30-something. And she was from Texas, and she was telling us that she got a PhD and she's very smart, like every other 15 minutes. She was talking about the PhD. Okay, no problem. Good for you. Excellent. Now you have to prove it. Talk. And then the person, started saying this and that, and then they talked about the Second World War. She said, we're not going to linger over the Second World War. We're going to have only 2 hours. That's all in the whole semester about the Second World War. It was, I think, from the U.S. history, world history, or no, U.S. history. It was from 1866, I think, or 1865 to, I don't know, the current date or something like that, to modern or whatever, to present. That was the course, I think. And then she proceeded to say that in those 2 hours, we're not going to learn what happened, but everything else we did, like the history, blah, 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 blah. She was a communist in her, just to start with that. And she was an activist. She said in those 2 hours about the Second World War, we're not going to talk about whatever happened in the war. We're going to talk about the situation of lesbians, LGBT, it was, I think, at that time. It was about homosexuals, gay people, and so on. Their life during the Second World War, that in relation to the Second World War. So the whole Second World War, she wanted to talk about this little group in a society, how they lived through those 5 years, 4 years. What do you call that? That was a smooth way of an activist of telling us and being concerned of something that I didn't care for. What? And I was kind of like newly American here, if you know what I mean. So I got a big mouth. So I said, no, I refuse to do this. I said, I didn't come here to college to learn about that. I came because I wanted to talk about the Second World War. I want to see their perspective. And by the way, I knew more about the Second World War than she knew. Anyway, but it happened many times in my college career. And then she said, okay, well, we're going to do like this. 1 hour, we're going to have that, what she said. And 1 hour, how about you come in front of the classroom and you tell us about the Second World War? Gladly, thank you very much. So she let me 1 hour to be lecturing the class and have the questions and answers session at the end. You can imagine what happened then. Because I was providing them with some information that they didn't know, and they didn't agree. Because, like any other country writes its history the way we did the best. Like about the Normandy landing, like Stalingrad, like many other subjects that they were, we won the war. Well, you did, but anybody else? No. Okay, so you provide the alternate or more information, not alternate, more information that would complete the whole picture. Well, they didn't like that. Anyway, they were young, what can I say? But in this case, the same way. These are guys that write a policy based on their activism, don't you think? And that's a private. This was public. My professor, the PhD lady, she was in a public school. And those guys, she was an activist. And she was pushing this soft thing on something unrelated to that. Imagine that right now you have, something in engineering, and she's going to tell you, okay, let's talk about engineering. Let's talk about discrimination of transgender people in engineering. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm here to learn engineering. Give me numbers, give me things, not this. But that's how an activist works. And the students, we don't care. They were on the laptops, chick, underwear, shoes, buying. That's what they were doing. And I had to fight with the idiots. Anyway, well, I didn't mind. I actually liked it, because I was wrestling with pigs, and I was a pig too. So we liked it in the dirt. So this is with who sets the rules. They set the rules. Do you think the rules are objective? You say, well, it's the company. Build your own company. Okay, you build your own company. See how that works. So you see, you are at them whim. You can do it, but as of now, do you think that's right? It doesn't mean that if someone can do something, it means that's right. No, I don't think so. And I disagree with these policies that, try to infringe our freedom of speech. I dislike that a lot. Without freedom of speech, less democracy we have, less freedom we have. There's no joke about that one. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.